Hey YouTube, welcome back. It's been a while, specifically about a year since I posted my first YouTubes in August of 2024, talking about how I was gonna embark on my no debt life. A whole lot has happened since then, and I thought it was time for an update. So what's happened since then? A lot. So in addition to downsizing and giving up most of my worldly possessions and the home that I was staying in, I also gave up my full-time job, which is the full-time job is a lot of the reason why I didn't post past those original 3 videos, because as a lot of you know, full-time jobs are pretty consuming, not just in the time they take, but the mental capacity that they demand. They didn't really leave a lot for me, that in addition to the logistics that I was dealing with to do this. So I gave up all that. And right now I don't have any income aside from my own savings, because I'm not old enough for Social Security yet. And so I'm kind of like a college student trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life, except I have a better bankroll than most of them do. So the question might be, why did I do such a thing? Why did I give up so much stability? I had a good paying job. I was living in a really nice area, and give that all up for the unknown, because it's pretty unknown right now. According to my financial advisors, I should be working until I'm 67 if I want to retire and have the income that I want to keep me in the style that I've become accustomed to. So why would I shake all that up 7 years ahead of plan? And it's not really a single catalyst. I think it was a combination of things. One was my 60th birthday, which was last year. I know I don't look like it. I might, but that's what you have to say, right? Anyway, my 60th birthday happened, and for whatever reason, that was different than my 40th or 50th. Those were not big deal birthdays to me. They were because they were fun milestones, but I did not feel a sense of mortality with those. I absolutely have felt that shift with 60, that there's a finite number of summers I have left, of healthy years I might have left. Both of my parents passed away in their young 70s, 73 and 74 respectively. So that was kind of a wake-up call for me, saying, well, what if that happens to me? Now I feel like I'm quite a bit healthier than they were, so I don't really think that's all I have left, but it's a wake-up call. It could be like, what if I only have 13, 14 years left? What do I want to do with those years? And as much as I enjoyed my job, I felt like I had so many more things I still wanted to do, and that was keeping me from doing that. So there was that, and then there were some changes in work, and this may be a case of the universe kind of giving you what you're ready for, when you're ready for it, or what you're asking for. But there were some changes at work that kind of broke me out of the inertia that I was in. I had been doing the same job for quite a while, and there was organizational changes at my clients and at the company that I was at, and it just was kind of a forcing function for kind of shaking me out of the habits and the inertia, saying, well, you're gonna have to make a change. What do you want that to look like? And so all that kind of happened at the same time, and I saw an opportunity to start to transition out of what I had been doing. And it was important to me to do it in a smooth way. I didn't want to just, blow up my life or blow up my business, So I actually worked out a really long transition process. So I did my best to transition the responsibilities that I had been doing for a long time. And that was important to me even though I'm doing this radical shakeup of my life, I wanted to do it in such a way that it was as responsible as possible, I guess, is the best way I could put it. So that's right. So as of June 20th, I went on permanent. I had been on a little bit of I had taken a leave of absence before that, And then that leave of absence became permanent on June 20th, or at least permanent for now. I could go back to software development at some point. I do enjoy it, and especially for financial reasons, I might want to go back and do some of that. But in the meantime, I want to take opportunity. I'm taking what I'm calling a gap year, it might be a gap 2 years, to figure out what I want to do for this next phase. And I think it's interesting that we're really well prepared for kind of the first phases of our life, where we have school and college, and there's all these support systems that kind of map out. They give you a roadmap, and not everybody follows the roadmap, but there is a roadmap for us that says you go to elementary school and high school and college, and then you can either go to grad school or you go find a job, and maybe you intern, and then if you choose, you get married and have kids, and then somewhere around midlife, for a lot of us, that roadmap kind of runs out, where it's like, okay, now you raise your kids and you get old and retire, and then you sit on the porch, and if you're lucky, you get to travel a lot. And I think a lot of us are finding that we need a little bit more than that, or we just, maybe we don't need a roadmap anymore. We want to create our own, but that's easier said than done. So that's where I am now. And the third catalyst was probably finances. So in the midst of, the mortality and the thinking I needed to change the job, where I was living kind of depended on me staying in the same job. So if I was going to change the job, I had to change what I was spending. And that's still something I'm struggling with, because I do like a nice lifestyle. And so I have to figure out how to still pursue my purpose and maintain the lifestyle. Part of the difficulty is because I'm in Southern California. That's a very expensive place to be in the world. And so, I'm kind of flirting with ideas of other places. And the whole, where am I going to retire is a whole kind of subject video in itself. And I'm not going to go into that in this one. But I do hope that you'll stick around for the future videos when I kind of talk through what I've learned about that and that journey. So what happens now? So the kind of new graduate deciding what to do with their life. How am I doing that now? What does that look like? And what I discovered was that the travel component of it that I'm kind of doing, which is trying different places and seeing how they fit, can't be my primary purpose. It needs to be like a backdrop for some other purpose or other purposes that I'm also pursuing. And the same with finances. They can't be the driving, obviously finances are a driving component of a lot of what we do, because we need them to put the roof over our head, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm giving this concept of gap year is to kind of take some of that off the table, because I can't afford to do that for myself, and give me that room to breathe. That, okay, I don't have to do a thing to make X amount of dollars right now. It's figuring out what is that I'm going to do that will hopefully do both. It'll help me pursue my purpose and also give me that financial stability I need to carry me through what I hope is still a very long next phase of life. So specifically to that end, right now I have two primary focuses. One is this YouTube channel to document this journey in hopes that my sharing what I'm learning, because I feel like I'm experiencing and learning a whole lot that not everybody has been able to do yet. They may want to do it, and maybe they'd like to see what happens to someone else who does it, because it is such a dramatic change, and there is an element of risk to it. And then also feedback from other people that are kind of on similar phases of life and the things that they're learning. So the community part, I think, is also important, as much as the documentation part. And the second primary, can there be two primary focuses? I guess they are. My second primary focus, or I guess maybe that makes it a secondary focus, is I want to write a novel. So one of the things that's been kind of just one of the itches I have not been able to scratch while I was doing my regular full-time job was writing. And I think it's a little bit of the whole left brain, right brain thing. When you're stuck in your one side of the brain all day, it's hard to shift to the other, and just having the energy, the creative energy. Yeah, I feel like there's a certain number of hours I have in a day that I really, can tap into that, or at least historically that's been the case. So now is the time that doing the YouTube and writing are kind of similar sides of the brain for me. They're creative, they're verbal, they're kind of in that same realm. So I'm going to be working on a passion project that has been in my mind for a long time, which is a novel. And I'm going to save more details on that till later. I want to get that more fleshed out. But I've had a kind of a very personal story that I've wanted to write for a long time. So I'm going to work on that, and maybe there's some other aspiring writers out there that would enjoy joining me on that aspect of the journey. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, I hope you will subscribe and come along for this part of the journey. It's as scary as it can be. It's also super exciting. And I urge everybody who's thinking about the next phase of life to think out of the box and think that other things might be possible, that you aren't stuck. It's possible that you might not be stuck. I obviously don't know everybody's circumstances, but there's a lot of alternatives out there. And I do believe we live in a benevolent universe that does have your back. And so getting past some of that fear, I think, is one of the biggest life journeys, challenges, successes, whatever the word is I'm looking for. Getting past our fear, I think, is one of life's greatest joys of achievement. Yeah, it is. It's one of the biggest challenges we have, and also becomes some of our greatest joy. So that's what I'm working on, and I hope you'll join. And so until next time, let's all keep exploring.